Hey guys, today we're going to do a little rapping.
The membrane in your speaker is indeed pulsating, so there's no use debating. I get the highest rating. On the mic, I'm devastating. The rappers are castrating. It's you I'm eliminating, so there's no use debating.
No, not that kind of rapping. Though that is my jam. Guys, hey, come back here. What's that sign say?
Yeah.
Rappelling, called abseiling in Europe and Australia, is making a controlled descent on a fixed rope using friction. The rappel device applies friction to the rope and holds the repeller on the upper part of the rope, where the brake hand applies force to the lower strand to control how quickly the rope passes through the device.
Some folks, like sport rappellers and canyoneers, rappel as an activity in itself. Tactical teams and military troops rappel as part of their jobs. Rock climbers generally rappel as a form of transportation, getting down from the top of a climb. Rappelling, or rapping for short, relies on the rope and equipment to get from point A to B. To rap, you run your rope from an anchor down to the ground or to another anchor below. We are here at a nice rappel anchor station, and we're going to rappel down. So, some people disagree with going through both hard points with a large D-beaner, but we always did this in the past when we didn't have rappel or belay loops. But I'm confident with my dual belay loops that I have redundancy. We're going to start on a single strand, and you can also do double rope rappels. Most of the time when you're climbing, you're going to descend on a double rappel, but we're going to do the basics with a single line because it's easy to demonstrate and illustrate. This is the figure eight. This is the granddaddy of rappel devices. You can use the figure eight, you can use others. The figure eight. Take a bite, pop it through the figure eight, behind the waist, like so. Now I'm going to take my figure eight, clip it into my locking carabiner, lock it. Pull some slack up so I'm nice and snug on my anchor. I like to play with my anchor with both hands, so I lock this puppy off by wrapping it around a thigh, and that serves as my brake hand now. I will take off my personal anchor. To rappel, just like a belay, I'm going to hold the brake stand with my brake hand. I will begin my rappel. This is an antiquated device you won't find anywhere, but it's called the Bockley Silentbrenser from Chenard or Black Diamond. This loads very similarly to the figure eight. Put a bite through, but this time there's no waste. It goes around the locking carabiner like that. And it operates on the same principle. Some old timers love to use the beaner brake, or at least show it because it's a novelty. Beaner brake consists of multiple oval carabiners. You can do it with D carabiners as well, but they always demonstrate with ovals. You take one and you run two carabiners through it, and that's kind of your braking rack. So I'm going to take the rope, I'm going to clip the first oval through it, like so. And I'm going to take my two other ovals, I'm going to run them through like that. And then I'm going to run the rope over them and clip the rope back in the oval. So now you have a friction lock. And then I'm going to clip my locking carabiner that attaches me to this concoction, like so. Do it the other way. So folks will advocate that this is a great rappel device in the event that you don't have a rappel device. You can just make it out of carabiners and then rappel down. However, if you find yourself in a bind where you don't have a rappel device, you can do the military rappel. One of the few good things I learned from the Army. You only need one carabiner to rappel in a bind. You simply take your carabiner, hook it to yourself, run the rope through it like so, and then wrap the anchor side of the rope around the spine and back through. Wrap it again.
I gotcha.
For more friction, you can wrap it as many times as you want. And now, off you go. We're going to do what most climbers do when they're coming off a climb, is we call a double rope rappel. You can climb with one rope or two tied together with a grapevine. We've threaded it through the anchor. You've seen us do this in other episodes. We'll run the rope down until it's down to the ground or midway point. Now we have two ropes. You can use all of the standard devices we've used in the past. These are figure eight. Just like with a single rope, we take them both, pop the bites through around the waist, through the locking carabiner. Voila. Some people who want less friction will treat it like we did with the Bockley. Instead of running it over the waist, we simply run the bite through the carabiner. And now your points of friction are the large hole in the figure eight and the carabiner rather than the waist of the figure eight. A little less friction, but it does the job. Tube style devices. Normally if you're belaying off one of these bad boys, you can rappel off it too. But a lot of people will belay on a gree-gree and still carry one of these up to rappel off it. In this case, we're going to take the bites and we're going to put one bite in each slot. One bite, two bites. Pull the bites down, just like you're belaying but with two ropes.
The repeller lets go with his brake hand. There is no more force controlling the rope, and the repeller will slide down the rope in an uncontrolled fall. There are a few safety backups to prevent a deadly fall should the repeller lose grip with his brake hand. Some methods back up the rappel device and take the person's weight completely off the device, holding the person from above the device. Other methods back up the brake hand, applying force to the brake strand below the rappel device. The rappel device still holds the person's full weight. To secure the repeller from above, one can belay the repeller on a separate rope. Another more common method is to attach the repeller to the rappel rope above the rappel device using a friction hitch. If the repeller releases the brake hand, the friction hitch cinches on the rope and takes the person's weight. The rappel device no longer supports his weight. The other backups apply force to the brake strand. One option is to wrap a friction hitch around the brake strand, attached to the harness leg loop. The friction hitch applies a small force to the brake strand while the rappel device holds the person's full weight. The other option is to have somebody down below pull on the brake strand, exerting a small force on the brake strand which engages the rappel device to hold the repeller's body weight.
This is a prusik. A lot of people hate prusiks. I'm one of them. But it's a safety device. Keep you from decking should somehow you lose control with your brake hand. The rappel, just like a belay, I'm going to hold the brake stand with my brake hand. I'm going to take my free hand and hold this prusik and slide it down so that it doesn't lock up. And then I'm going to go on down the rope. If I let go with my brake hand, the prusik locks on the rope. One of the reasons I'm not a big fan of the prusik knot is that it is so easy for the loops to cross over each other out of order. As you can see here, when the wraps get crisscrossed and you weight it, it will lock up and it will be virtually impossible to unweight it and get it straight again. And this is why I do not favor the prusik knot as a safety mechanism, because it's so easy for it to get tangled and locked up. The climb heist friction hitch is a nice alternative to the prusik because it doesn't jam up as easily. A lot of folks nowadays like to extend them. They use a sling, bring the rappel device away from their bodies. Some will even use a shoulder sling, bring it really far away. This enables them to put a third hand brake on the device, on your brake string. Some folks just do a simple wrap without even doing a climb heist. That works too. It provides friction. Without one loop levering over another.
Only use an auto block on an extended rappel.
This allows the auto block room to maneuver. If I were to clip my figure 8 directly to my belay loops, the auto block could jam up inside the figure 8. It'll hold me in place if I were to let go with my brake hand. And my favorite is the first person would use some kind of third hand or a prusik backup. Once there's somebody down there, I prefer the fireman's belay, so I don't have to mess with any of this extra brake hands. I have somebody down there pulling on the low end of the rope that serves as my brake hand. Okay, on rappel. I got you, dude. On the rappel, if I let go with my brake hand, my fireman's belayer catches me. Thanks, dude. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. Hey guys, thanks for watching. And as always, please like and subscribe and post up as many comments if you have questions, suggestions. I'm sure I'm going to hear from a lot of you canyoneers out there about this episode. Now, go out there and have fun and rap safely.
The membrane in your speaker is indeed pulsating, so there's no use debating. I get the highest rating. On the mic, I'm devastating. The rappers are castrating. It's you I'm eliminating, so there's no use debating. I am great, cause the fans gyrate so good I can skate. On ice so thin, now you know I will win. Cause if you mess with me, you know it's a sin. Look out, LL, DMC better run. Cause I'm here to rock the schoolhouse and have some fun. No, I'm not done, cause I'm #1. Wanna try to battle me, you need a mic, not a gun.